Welcome to Farmers Dream Voices podcast, brought to you by Bloomfield Middle School's Agriculture Leadership and Communications class. It's Noah and Tyler, and today we would like to introduce you to Chris and Amy Coulter from the Coulter's Good Earth Farm. Amy and Chris Coulter work together on the farm. Welcome, Chris and Amy Coulter. You all have sustainable farming practices on your farm. Could you explain what sustainable farming means to you and how you all use sustainable agriculture on the farm?
How we use sustainable agriculture?
Yeah.
Well, for us, sustainability is being able to leave our farm, leave the land better than what it was, as in good a shape as when we started, or in better shape than when we started. We also try to minimize outside inputs from the farm. So a lot of farming today requires chemicals from outside of the farm and plastics from outside of the farms, soil medium to grow your crops in, if you're doing things in greenhouse. And so a lot of what we try to do is just to keep as much as we can on the farm and reuse things that we have.
You had mentioned to us that you wrote a book. What is the title of the book, and what is the book about?
My husband is the one that wrote it, so it's Christopher Coulter. It's a book about sustainable agriculture, more in a time when maybe the grocery stores aren't having produce or having food, and kind of just more of how to grow your own vegetables and be able to do that on a level where you're producing most of your own food. Most of what we grow on the farm, we eat, but I still go to the grocery store and buy things. There are a lot of places in the world, though, we've lived overseas, and there are a lot of places in the world where things in the grocery store, if there is no grocery store, or things in the market, there's not a whole lot of selection. And so his book is a lot about just how to prepare yourself and your land to become more resilient, and how to put back into the land so that you can get a better production to feed your family yourself.
Your farm has a CSA program. Please inform our viewers about what a CSA is and how it operates.
Okay, CSA stands for Community Supported Agriculture, and CSAs were originally designed many decades ago as a way for community members who didn't farm to be able to support the local farmer. So they would pay in a certain amount of money at the beginning of the season, usually in the winter, when farmers need that cash money coming in. And then the farmers would supply their customers all year round or throughout this growing season with a supply of the produce that's coming in from the farm. We still hold to that model, but it's changed a lot over the years. The first ones that started were, somebody would pay $500. They would get $500 worth of produce through the growing season. Once a week, they would pick it up on the farm in a share. A lot of farms now have transitioned, thanks to the internet. Click list at certain grocery stores have really encouraged people to be a lot more picky about what they get in their boxes. It used to be that the farmer just gave people whatever was in season that week and in production at that time. Now people really want a choice. So a lot of these CSAs are evolving to where you fill out a Google document. It's kind of like the Kroger click list. You click on what vegetables you want, and then they put it in your box for that week, or they deliver it to your farm. One of the benefits for a CSA for the farmer is that they get money in the wintertime when they're not going to farmers markets and when nothing's growing. So they get that capital up front at that point. And then they have a consistent customer base that they put their products out to. They already know that produce is sold and it goes to the customers. The benefit to the customer of a CSA is that they're guaranteed produce all summer, and it's locally grown, really close to them, so they're getting a taste of what's growing in their area. But they also share in If the sweet corn didn't do good that year, they don't get very good sweet corn, or they don't get any at all. They're also sharing in some of that risk with the farmer. One of the drawbacks to the new way that people are doing CSAs, where people choose what they want, is that it's really hard for the farmers to grow according to that, because you never know what people are going to want. It used to be that we could just grow and give people what we had. It was also good, the old model was good because it forced people to try new things, you know. So that, hopefully that explains what a CSA is. It's really designed to help the community support their local farmers, and also for local customers to get produce from very close by.
Do you use any animals to do other work on your farm?
We don't have any kind of like draft horses or anything like that, or oxen, you know, that people used to use. We do have cows, but our animals do work for us. Our cows eat down the pasture that wouldn't be good for crops because it's too hilly. So they eat that, and then we butcher them and sell the meat. So they are working for us, even though they're not pulling plows or whatever. Our chickens, we have an immovable chicken tractor, so they are spreading their manure and they are cleaning up weed seeds. So this time of year is when we start to move them through our garden plots for next year. So they're spreading their own manure, they're cleaning up weed seeds, they're scratching around and tilling the ground. So they do work for us, and then we get the eggs from them. So.
What is the most rewarding part of farming, and what is the most difficult?
I'll start with the most difficult. This year has been, we've been farming for 23 years for market gardens, for markets. The hardest is dealing with the weather. This year we've had extreme drought, extreme heat, so a lot of our vegetables just didn't do very well. You know, every year you'll have something that maybe doesn't do as good, but something does well and makes up for it. This year it was pretty consistent that everything was not up to its best. And so that's some of the challenges, is that you're really just kind of at the mercy of the weather. No matter how good you are at farming, or how much you know, or how much experience you have, the weather is the deciding factor in a lot of it. But some of the most rewarding things are that you're working for yourself, and you get to see a return on the work that you do. So you work very hard planting these things, and you actually get to see them grow. You harvest them, you see them go out to people who are satisfied, you know, with having good produce. So you get to see a full cycle. A lot of times in jobs that you do, you may not ever get to see the ending product of it. With farming, you do. So it's very rewarding. We get to work at home. I don't have to wear a uniform. I don't have to buy nice clothes to wear. And a lot of it is just being able to be outside. If you don't like to be outside, you don't like to get your hands dirty or do hard work, farming's not for you, because it is all of those things. But for somebody that likes to be, and it's good for somebody that likes to do different things. You know, if you get tired of just sitting and doing the same things, there's always something different to be doing, whether it's repairing a tractor or, you know, pulling weeds. So.
If you can give us one piece of farming advice, what would that be?
Like for future farmers, for people who want to go into farming, I would say you're young, you have a lot of time to think about it and plan. Talk to other farmers. When we think about farming in America, a lot of us tend to think of a monocrop, like big scale corn production or soybean production, which is great, which keeps America going. So, but it's a small percentage of people that do that. It's a very high investment in money. Not a lot of people have the money, especially in counties where land is expensive, like Nelson County, to buy a large farm and just start doing that. So talk to farmers, different kinds of farmers. Talk to people that do markets for vegetables. Talk to people that run farm stands. Some people do a mixture of, you know, large crop farming, and they do CSAs for vegetables. Some people do flowers, cut flowers. Some people are doing just grass-fed beef or grass-fed, you know, sheep or pork production. There's a lot of different options out there now. I would probably say a good thing that you could do is go to one of the larger farmers markets in the state where people are genuinely growing their own things. They're genuinely producing their own milk, their own beef, their own lamb, whatever it is, pastured chickens, and go and talk to them and just start gleaning from some of the experience of people that have been doing it longer. Some people do production just for restaurants and supply restaurants with certain things. There's a lot of options out there for farmers beyond just, a huge farm with really expensive equipment. So you can explore your options. You've got plenty of time to talk to people and explore some of those different things.
Thank you, Amy Coulter, for joining us today and telling us a little bit about you and Coulter's Farm. And thank you for listening, and remember to eat local.